Okay, so I love stories. I love making stories. I love telling stories. But here's the catch. In most recent years, the animatic has rose to be a favorite among artists who wish to share a simple story in less than 3 minutes. Compared to more complex mediums such as full animations or PMVs, the animatic allows creators to share what they love while maintaining a steady workflow. There was no surprise that I chose this as my main outlet to tell these stories. So what would happen when you only have a few hours to finish one? I'm no stranger to animatics. One of the first videos to ever take off on this channel was an OC Animatic a little over 3 years ago. One of the problems I had with this though was that it took over 6 months to get it finished, while my most recent animatic took a year and a half. You see a pattern? And I know it probably has something to do with the amount of detail I put into these, but I have a plan. Step 1. Learn to better pace my animations. Step 2. To rework the animation process entirely to be more sustainable in the far future. And Step 3. Complete a 1-minute long project in just 24 hours. I might be insane. Okay, hold on. I make these all the time, so why would I knowingly torture myself over one project that I have less than a day to finish? Well, the truth is, I'm not very satisfied in what I create. Thousands of people could love what I do, and yet when I look at it, I see places where I could always be better. Take this one for example. This project was one of my favorites, but if you look closely, you'll see where the animation jumps around too much. This is what I'd like to fix, as well as reduce the overall effort it took to make. It was only under a minute, and this still took 2 months. So here I am, about to dive headfirst into one of the biggest challenges I have ever faced, and I had no idea what I had just done until the clock struck hour 1. 23 hours remain, and I just now put down my first sketch. I don't work on a project unless I have some reference to where I want to end up. For this one, I chose my boy Remus and the misadventures he got up to as a kid. In the storyboard, I tried to really capture the fun and free nature of both he and his brother Ozias during the early days shortly after Remus was adopted. I believe the song that best fit this moment in their lives would be from the recently made Mufasa movie called I Always Wanted a Brother. If you would like to know more about these two and what they got up to as they grew older, I recommend checking out the playlist in my description. There'll be more on that later. Once that's all out of the way, we put them in our timeline and we get started. Let me be real with y'all. One of the things I hate the most about this process is the sketches. They take so long, and I'm a very visual-oriented person. I need to see what I'm doing in order to actually make something of it. So beginning a project, I have such difficulty getting that first image down. Let me tell you, I've had times where I just stared at my project and thought, man, it would be so cool if I had that full animation done. But I only have the storyboard, and I have no idea how to connect this to that. Once the first few sketches are done, it's time to move on to editing. For my own personal use, I use Premiere Rush to put my images all together in a timeline. Now, I know this isn't the most efficient method. I would much rather have an animation program, but where I stand financially is just not in the budget to get one. So for now, we keep to the cheap, free versions of editing sites while I scour the internet looking for one without a watermark. This one I found works pretty well, so long as you're willing to put in the time to put in every single picture individually. And yes, the timer is still going. Here's the rules real quick. Number 1, you have 24 hours to finish your project. Number 2, the timer is still going so long as you're working on the project, whether it be editing, sketching, or storyboarding. And number 3, we are not drawing for 24 hours straight. That is how you speedrun carpal tunnel. No. Instead, we work in small intervals throughout the day. We get a few hours in, the timer goes, and as soon as we need to stop, the timer stops and hands are off. We don't touch the project until the next session. And there you have it, folks. The first installment of our project. Look at it. It's beautiful. Back to the drawing board we go, though. There's still many sketches to do. I have a question for you. Do you sketch out the entirety of your project before you ever begin line art? Or do you go by segments and line art one portion and then go on to the next? I personally like to have all my ideas out on paper before I ever finalize them. I think this process would be different for other people, so I would be curious to know what you do. These sketches, yeah, they're pretty rough, and they took a lot longer than I expected. What you see here is just half of the work that it actually took to get them together in the timeline. I actually put them in without checking first if my timing was correct. And that was a whole debacle in itself. I had to put the whole thing back together again from scratch. This is where I was about 14 hours later. It is currently 7 o'clock and I had just gotten through the editing phase. And we only have a small segment left to put sketches to, like to make sketches for. And I have just a little bit over 13 hours left. I don't know if I'm going to be able to line art this. Yeah, I have no idea how I was to ever finish such a daunting task with only this much left. I couldn't, and perhaps that's okay. When I set out to do this challenge, I convinced myself that I needed to make something that would outshine the rest of my portfolio. The truth is, perfection isn't possible. Not like this anyway. We started creating these worlds and these characters because we love them, right? But when we strive to be the best, we take away that love. I might not have finished this project 100%, but I did take away a valuable lesson. Don't be afraid to fail. You might find you're stronger than you ever thought possible. Also, I need to sketch less and put my head down. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. I know you hear this 1,000 times, but it would really help me out as we continue to grow here on the channel. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope you got something out of this too. I learned a lot about my animation process and where I would like to continue as we go forward. Things might be a little different here on the channel for a while, but I hope you stick around, and if you would like to support what I do here, please leave a comment and let me know if you would like to see more videos like this one in the future. Until now, keep making stories, and I'll see you soon.